Boeing isn't just a company, it's an American icon. On October 6, 2025, Boeing announced a temporary shutdown of all U.S. production lines. Crippling supply chain failures and labor disputes were to blame. Financial markets trembled and uncertainty swept the country. For many, it felt like a betrayal, a symbol of American industry faltering. The nation held its breath, waiting for what would come next. Donald Trump's response was instant and explosive. He bypassed press secretaries and took to Truth Social, unleashing all-caps fury. Disgrace, stab in the back. At a Mar-a-Lago press conference, Trump's anger was palpable, his voice sharp, his gestures emphatic. "This is a disaster. I would have never let this happen." He painted himself as the only leader strong enough to prevent such a crisis, energizing his base and dominating headlines. The Boeing shutdown became more than an economic event. It was now a test of leadership. Trump's fury wasn't just political, it was personal. He built his brand as the ultimate deal-maker and champion of American industry. During his presidency, he claimed Boeing's successes as his own, using the company as a symbol of America First prosperity. The shutdown felt like a direct blow to his legacy. If Boeing could falter, what did that say about the strength he claimed to restore? Trump saw Boeing's troubles as erasing his achievements, but the crisis also gave him a political opening. It happened under his successor's watch, letting him draw a sharp contrast. "This would never have happened if I were in charge." His outrage was a calculated move, sowing doubt about current leadership and reminding followers of his supposed strength. Trump's style is to negotiate through intimidation, attack, never back down. By publicly shaming Boeing's executives, he aimed to pressure them into reversing course. It was a high-stakes gamble, using his platform to force a corporate giant's hand. For Trump, this was more than business, it was about power and control. Boeing's shutdown sent shockwaves far beyond its factories. Over 100,000 workers, engineers, mechanics, assembly line staff faced sudden uncertainty. For many, a temporary halt threatened permanent layoffs and upended family security. The pain didn't stop there. Boeing relies on more than 12,000 American suppliers, many small businesses with their futures tied to Boeing's orders. When Boeing stopped, so did their lifeline. Layoffs rippled through these companies, some facing closure. Entire communities built around Boeing, like Everett, Washington, and North Charleston, South Carolina, felt the blow. Local economies depend on Boeing paychecks, supporting restaurants, shops, and real estate. When those paychecks vanish, so do customers and tax revenues, threatening public services. The shutdown exposed how one company's crisis can topple an entire ecosystem. Globally, the impact was just as severe. Boeing is a top U.S. exporter. Halting production weakens America's economic position. Airlines waiting for planes may turn to competitors like Airbus, risking permanent loss of market share. The damage went beyond Boeing's reputation. It questioned America's industrial leadership. Could the U.S. still lead in advanced manufacturing? The answer suddenly seemed uncertain. The ripple effect was real, immediate, and devastating. Boeing's sneeze had given America a cold. The world was watching. The numbers became real in the stories of those affected. David Miller, a mechanic in Renton, Washington, said, "This isn't just a job, it's my family's life. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do." His fear echoed across the workforce. Families facing lost paychecks. College dreams in jeopardy. Small businesses felt the pain too. Maria Flores, who owns a cafe near the Everett plant, saw her morning rush vanish overnight. "How do I pay my rent if this goes on for weeks? When Boeing hurts, we all hurt." Local officials sounded the alarm. Mayor Franklin Reed of North Charleston warned, "Every day this plant is idle, our community loses. City budgets strained, public services at risk." Trump's supporters, meanwhile, echoed his anger. "This is what happens when you let the globalist run things," said a retired factory worker on a podcast. "Trump would have fixed it. He's the only one who fights for us." The shutdown tapped into deep frustration and a longing for strong leadership. For many, it wasn't just about jobs, it was about identity and hope. The crisis revealed the fragile web connecting workers, businesses, and communities. The cost was measured in more than dollars. It was measured in lives. The crisis became a study in leadership styles. Trump's approach, confrontational, emotional, and public. He named villains, rallied supporters, and turned the shutdown into a political spectacle. His goal was to apply maximum pressure and show strength. For his base, this was the leadership they craved. The current administration took a different path, measured, cautious, and collaborative. They worked behind the scenes, talking to Boeing and union leaders, seeking solutions instead of headlines. Their focus: stability, not drama. Each style had risks. Trump's fire could energize supporters, but also destabilize negotiations and scare investors. The administration's quiet approach risked appearing weak or slow. In a crisis, people want action, but real solutions take time. The public grew impatient, demanding visible leadership. The challenge project control while solving a complex problem. The contrast was stark: fighter versus fixer, spectacle versus substance. The nation watched, divided over which style would prevail. The outcome would shape not just Boeing's future but America's. Leadership in this moment was everything. The Boeing shutdown was more than an economic shock. It was a national reckoning. It shattered the myth of American industrial invincibility. Even giants can stumble in a fragile, globalized world. The crisis forced urgent questions. How do we build resilient supply chains? How do we protect key industries? It also exposed a deep divide in what Americans want from their leaders. Some crave a fighter. Trump's rage felt authentic, a promise of protection. Others want a steady hand, calm, competence, and real solutions. The shutdown became a mirror, reflecting our anxieties and divisions. Do we want strength or stability? A fighter or a builder? The answers will define our path forward. In times of crisis, leadership matters more than ever. The choices our leaders make can heal or deepen our divides. Boeing's crisis was a test. The nation is still waiting for the results.